Hello everybody, welcome to Hollyberry Colors. I'm Holly. I was about to say welcome to Scary Sundays, Sunday Scaries, but I actually wanted to talk to you guys about that. So I'm finding it a little hard to try and color on the day every week. Now I don't want to stop doing this, but what I'm thinking is I'm going to change Sunday Scaries to Hollyberry Scaries, and that way I'm not tied down to a certain day of the week. And I understand that I really wasn't before, but sometimes I personally struggle with rigid thinking and, oh my goodness, I have to post on Sundays for Sunday Scaries. So to make things a little looser for me on my end and make it a little more flexible, I think I will change this series to Hollyberry Scaries. And I'll keep coloring horror content, and I think that's just a good solution for everything. So that's where I'm at. And I did film coloring more of my page in here, and it was just a little difficult to get through. It was a little convoluted, and I was having a really bad day that day, kind of just thinking about some other stuff going on. And I'm not upset with the page, just things didn't seem to be going right when I was filming. I kept going off camera, which doesn't usually bother me, but that day it did for some reason. So I might put some of that footage in here, I might not, but it's really long just for colored pencil stuff. So another thing I was thinking of doing was trying to keep the time on these videos to a certain amount. So I might color for an hour or two, or just see how I'm feeling, and then whatever I get that day, I'll just turn into a video. I might not necessarily complete a page, but you will see a completed page from me at some point, either on Instagram or on here. So it's really not a terrible thing. And so this may not really end up being like a color along kind of a series, but we'll see. Never say never. We keep changing things up over here and trying things, and we'll just see how they work. Anyways, here's where the page is at right now. I posted on Sunday a little update about this, and I did end up coloring all of the fire and all that good stuff. So what I want to do today, right now, is I want to add a few more little pencil details, like around the demon eyes, and get a little bit of fire glow on some areas. And then I think the last step really on this page will be, I have my I thought we could play with some languo gel pens and kind of mess around with the fire a little bit. So let's do that. Editing Holly here. So what's going to happen is we're going to go through the beginning parts of the page with the pencil, and I'll just do a little speed coloring through that. And then we will eventually get to the languo gel pen details and all that good stuff that I talk about in the intro here. I couldn't quite figure out where to start, so I just decided to start with the cracks in the ground, trying to get that fire glow effect of the depth and the heat from underneath. And I don't know if y'all have colored fire, but it is incredibly hard to color. It's you wouldn't think it is, but it is, especially if you're trying to do realistic. Anyways, I think it's hard. So I started out with some kind of red, I think poppy red, scarlet lake, something like that, Prisma. And it was too dark, so I switched to pale vermilion, which I did earlier. This is yellow to orange, and I like the look of that. So here I have decided to just keep using that and go ahead and do all the rest of the parts with these colors. So I'm going to do pale vermilion, then I'm going to switch to the yellowed orange, and I can't remember, it's been so long now. I might have put some sunburst yellow in there at some point just to make it a little more yellow further up. So that's what I'm going to be doing here in all of these little rock parts, and then we will move on to the next part that's colored in pencil. Now I've moved on to the barbecued hands, as Renee so eloquently put it. And for these, I started out using beige sienna, I think 50% French gray, and then 70% French gray. It was 2 of the French grays. So it was beige sienna and 2 of the 50% and up French grays. So I start shading the hands with that. And there's some point where I add more color to them. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I'm going to add some yellow here. Oops, it broke. Gotta fix that. But I do add some kind of yellow orangish color to the hands for the fire glow. And I'm still having trouble with my pencil. It's broken. So whatever, I got it fixed. And here's the yellow coming in. And further down the road, I add some kind of blue or green or something. Just to, because I really like the blue parts of the hands. Or the gray, whatever, the bluish gray. And I didn't want to lose that too much. So I'm just going to go through all of the hands. Use the beige sienna and the 2 French grays to do my shading. I was a little surprised, but these hands ended up being one of the harder parts on the page to color. And I think it's because they were so small. It might be a little hard to tell, but they were pretty tiny on the page. So it's hard to get in the fingers and figure out the shading and all that. But I got her done. And yeah, I'm just trying to keep talking so y'all have something to listen to. So yeah, I'm just shading and adding more yellow, orange, whatnotness for that glow. And we're almost done with the hands. I'm going to move on to the next bit. So just hang in there. I'll talk some more in a little bit. Now we are moving on to the ground again, but we're doing the top, the top part. So I'm using those same colors, the French grays and the beige sienna. So I'm just gonna shade underneath the fingers and the hands, create little shadows there. And what I end up doing is I burnish the whole thing with cream. So I'm just trying to make a little variation in here. I don't want it to be super smooth because it is rock. So adding a little variation in there. Again, I'm burnishing, going over everything with cream. And we're just going to call the ground done. And I think I skip over the rest of it because it's basically this. It's not super exciting. Like, it's not just interesting to look at that much like the hands were. So yeah, that's all we're going to be doing here. I don't know if y'all know this, but coloring the last page in the book is really hard. Like, really, really hard. I kept having to prop the book up so it would lay flat, and oh my god. I don't know if y'all have ever had to deal with that, but whew, do not recommend. It almost makes you want to rip the page out of the book and color it somewhere else if it's perforated. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Oh, look at me, I forgot some fire glow. Actually, I don't think I forgot it. I just decided to add it in here. I don't know what that was. Just craziness. But yeah, coloring the last page in the book is that's a trip. But yeah, that's why I keep jumbling the book all around as I'm trying to adjust it to color. Because it's super duper awkward. And especially with recording, since I try to color a certain way, is especially hard. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out and complain about it because I can, and I'm sure y'all know the struggles. Okay, that's enough of that ground business. Now I'm adding some, it's either jade green or celadon blue, I believe. Something like that to the hands to bring out that blue color. And now we have moved on to the gate to hell, I guess this is the doorway, whatever. So I'm using, I don't remember. That's espresso. I can read it on the pencil. So I used espresso and one of the darker, like 70% French gray, I think. That ended up being my highlight, or maybe 50% French gray with the highlight on the door here, which is crazy. But this was probably my favorite part to color on the page. I just had such a good time coloring this, and it was really relaxing and super fun. I didn't really have to stress about anything too much, so yeah, I really enjoyed coloring the store. And that's about it. I don't really color a whole lot of dark objects like that, so it was a good time. So obviously the other door is pretty much just like that one. Same old business. So I skip ahead to the top here and I just show you a little bit of coloring up here. Nothing crazy. This isn't really a color along this time, so it's just kind of a getting to hang out and watch somebody color a horror page. Wow, I can't talk. But yeah, so we're just coloring the top of the building here, and pretty soon we're gonna get to the little demons in just a second, and we'll talk about them. Here we're finally tackling our demons. So I get the easy part over first. I do the horns, and I'm using those same French grays. I'm doing like 30% and then probably 70%. So I get the horns done, and now we're using the same colors again in the demons. I try to carry those colors throughout the whole page. So those 50% French gray, 70% French gray, and then the beige sienna. So I'm going to use that to color all of the demons. Hi, Mercury. Wait, sweetheart, that's your tail. That's your tail, honey bunny. Okay, sorry. Got distracted by my kitty. But yeah, we're just shading the demons. Oh, and there you can see a hand finish there. I think I use cream for a highlight. Actually, now that I think about it. But the demons, it's crazy their transformation from that bright red, and I'm able to tone it way down with these colors that I'm using, and I really like how it turned out. So yes, I am using cream. I love using cream as a highlight in horror pages because it's not as stark as white. And it just, I think it's something special. What do I know? I'm not a professional, but I just like the way it looks. So yeah, I'll keep coloring these demons, and then we'll move on to the next part, which I think might be the fire. I don't remember. We'll see. All right, it was the fire. So I'm using the pale vermilion, the yellowed orange, and sunburst yellow, I think, maybe a little poppy red. So I'm just showing you a few of the flames here, one or two. And then I'm going to go off camera and do the rest because I wasn't able to record all of it, and the video is super long as it is. But yeah, I'm using those colors to do the flames here and a little bit of a gradient. And I'm going to vary it throughout all the flames on the page. You don't want them all to look the same because fire is very random. So it shouldn't all look the same. That's just a tiny tip I have for you. Oh yeah, and then I use cream in a few places, but this is kind of the direction I'm heading with the fire, and we're just going to do the rest of it. Now that the fire's done, I'm finishing up the last of the pencil work. I'm going to add more fire glow to make it look like the flames are surrounding all of these objects. So I'm using, I think it was sunburst yellow. I was using to color the demons and give them that soft yellow glow. And now I'm doing the same thing with the hands. I'm going back over the hands. I'm going to do the ground. I'm going to do the door. I'm just going to color over everything with this yellow to give the illusion that the fire is around and leaving a pretty soft glow. It's pretty scary to do stuff like this because if you mess up, you're kind of in big trouble because, you're adding a weird random color to your page that's already pretty much finished. So, I'm not trying to gloat or say I'm awesome or anything. It's just kind of a commentary on how scary coloring can be because, sometimes you got to take risks and they don't work. And that's part of the fun, you're gambling with your page. But yeah, I really enjoyed adding the yellow glow to everything. And I really like the way it looks. I think that's my favorite part of pages with flames on it or fire is I love getting to do the fire glow. We're nearing the end of the pencil portion. I apologize for the music. Thanks for your patience with me. Cool. Okay, let me hold this up. All right, all right. I'm going to add a little bit up here. Okay. I is happy with that. So, oops. Let's take care of the little moon up here. I don't know if cream will show up. Let me try sharpening it and we'll find out. Okay, let's see. This might be too light. Yeah, kinda. So there's that. I don't really want to do canary. That's kind of too dark. I mean, too yellow. Ooh, lordy. This is beige sienna. That's weird, but I kind of like it. So we're just going to roll with it. So that's cream to beige sienna. Good enough. All right. Let's see. I'm just double checking I have all my fire glow that I want. Actually, there should be some up here because there's nothing blocking this. So I'm just going to put a little up here. Just a little smidge in there. And a little smidge in there. Okay. All right. I'm putting the yellow down. Putting it down. Walking away. Bye. Okay. Now it is time to do our languo gel pens. So I have a set that has 100 and something languo gel pens in it. And I picked these guys out. So I have HN 901, HN 902, HN 903, HN 904, and HN 905. So these are the ones I'm going to play with. Let me get them set up with the sticky tack, and we'll just play with these flames a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I want to do before the fire is see how this does. Oh, there we go. So I'm just doing my little, there we are. I'm doing my little demon eye with the languo gel pen, just because I really want it to stand out. Oh my gosh, there we go. There's not one over there. Oh, sorry guys. Ooh. Okay, so there's that. Now, for the fire. I think I'm going to tackle this basically how I would tackle crystals. So I'm going to use a bunch of different colors, and I'm just double checking. Okay, just making sure it was light enough. So yeah, I'm going to try using just a bunch of different colors on the fire and be way too extra with this and take forever. But if you want good results, you need to put in time. So is this dry yet? Yes. Are you dry? Yes. Okay. I didn't want to stick my hand in a wet gel pen. So I'm just, these are very juicy. I'm literally just taking the different colors while they're wet, and you can kind of just have it and mix them, and it looks really cool. So there, I used, where am I? Hold on, I'm lost. Here I am. Okay, sorry. So I used like 4 different colors right here. Jeez Louise, I can't stay, sorry. So you get just a really cool look with that. And if you have all of your gel pens just sitting there, it's a lot easier to do that. So again, I'm going to start with the second lightest color. And I'm just kind of following the colors of the fire for the most part. Come on, guys, let's work with me here. And there we go. Now we'll repeat here. Okay. And a tip that I wanted to give you for your gel pens here. Hold on, this is bugging me. I need to blend these a smidge. I don't like that. Okay. So a tip I wanted to give you with your languo gel pens is to swatch them out, because they look way different dry than they do wet. So, oh, I have 168. So I have them all swatched out, and I will sit there and compare them to my work over here and figure it out. So I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do all of these flames. I'm going to go off camera, and I'm just going to do the same thing that we did here all the way around on the flames. Okay, that's the only thing I'm going to cover up are the lines on the flames. And I'll be back after that, and we'll check in and see how everything looks, and hopefully we can wrap up on this page. I'll be right back. All right, so I have the fire finished, and I'll do a little close-up here so you can see kind of what I did. Just use those 4 different colors, kind of tracing around the outlines on the flames and just trying to match, not really match, but just make it look flame-like. So I would do gradients, you know, that kind of stuff. And I went over a few areas with white at the end after everything was dry. And now I'm going to take WH-175 and we're going to add just a few little wispy details in. So I did it on that side just to make sure I liked it. And we're going to do it over here. And the pen is not working great, but the one thing I'm doing is I'm not putting the sticky tack stuff on the end. I don't want it to be a super heavy flow, because I just want little hints of color here. We're just trying to make something organic and fire-like. That's what we're doing here with this. And I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just kind of moving my pen back and forth. And I'm using this one color in all of the flames. And I am following the shape of the flame. So here, let me zoom you in so you can kind of see. So let me see. Here we go. So I'm just not really thinking about it. We're just doing. The less you think about it, the more real it's going to look. Get these over here. I don't need a lot. We're just trying to make it a little less flat in the flame. But I don't want to add a bunch of black lines back in because we just took all of those out. All right, now let's do this last side over here. Oops, I'm gonna have to zoom us out a smidge. There we go. All right. So yeah, the sticky tack, putty, whatever it is, can help you do a lot of different things with different applications. Or it doesn't, but using it and not using it is what I was trying to say, can give you different ways to work with your languo gel pens and get them to do different things for you depending on the look that you're going for. So we used the sticky tack to get these little bit thicker lines where it was easier to cover up the black line art. And now we're not using it because we want just wispy little lines of color. We don't need anything too crazy. And every now and then I do have to kind of squiggle the pen on the paper just to get the ink flowing a little bit. And that's okay, that doesn't bother me. Okay, Holly, we don't want this to look like fur. This is not fur. We're almost done, guys. And I'm not even in frame. Good job. Okay, well, you get the idea. So that's what we were doing there. All right, I don't like this. I'm gonna erase it. I'll be right back. All right, let's try this again. Ooh, my goodness. Trying to make this look good. There. All right. Good enough. Okay. All right. Throwing the pen down. It's going away. Putting the cap on. Bite. Okay. And now that everything is finished, hold on, I'm going to stand up a second. Cool. And looking back at everything, now that all the flame line art is covered up, I might just add in a little bit more yellow in a couple of places. Just because now the yellow doesn't feel quite bright enough. I guess if I was smart, I would have done this later, after, but we're not smart around here. No, that's too bright. I just can't win. Just can't win, guys. I'm going to hold the page up so I can see it. Do I want to add any orange? Do I want to do this to myself? Let's just try yellow to orange. No, I really don't want to do this. I really don't. I don't think it really helps that much. Yep, we're not going to do that. The yellow's fine. It's fine. Okay. I'll just make it a little more prominent in a couple of areas. That's all I'm going to do. What is this? Okay. Let me make it a little darker up here on the horns. And we're almost done, guys. Okay. I feel like we should call it. Otherwise, I could sit here forever and ever and keep working on this. I just lied to your face. We're going to darken this a little bit. Don't judge me. I want this a little bit more yellow because it's right up here by the flames, and it should be. And this will be a little less yellow down here. Okay, let's repeat over here. All right, guys, let me just going all kinds of crazy in here. Throwing yellow everywhere. Just everywhere it feels right. And again, this is the canary yellow, super bright yellow. Great for an intense firelight. All right, guys, I think we're gonna call it there. Actually, we're not. You know what? I gave in. I'm just gonna do tiniest little hint of yellow in here. Just doesn't feel right without it. Okay, guys, let me hold the page up. All right, I think we're gonna call it. So this is my first official completed entry for Light v Dark 2026, Angels v Demons. Wow. I have 1 or 2 more pages in the works. Hopefully I'll get those done. But it's really awesome to have a page finished for my Scary series, Sunday Scaries / Hollyberry Scaries. New name, don't forget. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm sorry it took me so long. Thank you for your patience with me. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm sorry I've just been having a tough time trying to find that joy in coloring and just wasn't feeling it Sunday. But I felt it tonight. I was able to record something. and feeling a lot better about things. It feels great to get a page finished. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Let me know what you think. Again, I love this style of coloring. It's so much fun. Thank you guys. I'm just rambling. Look at my hand, by the way. The aftermath of gel pen coloring. If you have any questions, let me know. But yes, I highly recommend getting some kind of gel pen set. I like the languos because they cover up the line work pretty good. They're a little bit scratchy, doesn't bother me, it's fine. But they work great for my needs, and I love all the different color choices so that you can do all the different crazy colors. So, okay, I'm just rambling and talking about nonsense. So I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me. Like, comment, and be sure to subscribe if this is your first time with me. And y'all have a great one. Bye.